It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
And welcome to the best American whiskeys of 2021.
Best of 2021.
Ooh, we're talking Ryes, we're talking American whiskeys, we're talking Finnish whiskeys, of course we're talking bourbon.
Of course we're talking bourbon.
Whiskeys, yes.
What you won't see is any international whiskeys.
Yeah, right. We keep it to America because that's what we know. And that's what we love.
That's true. You know what else you won't see? It has to be something that we can get our hands on, right?
Well,
so,
obviously.
Obviously, if we didn't get a bottle of it, or we didn't have a sample of it from our community, or we didn't get a media sample, then we didn't try it, and therefore we can't judge it. How will we know if we loved it? So
that's right.
If you're going through this list and you're like, hey, this was the best thing I had all year, where's it on the list? We probably weren't able to try it.
Or it's something that didn't specifically come out in the calendar year of 2021.
So it has to be a
2021 release. That's how we keep from having 100 or 200. If we had all that, that'd be too many whiskeys to shake a stick at, I guess.
You know what else would cause it to be too many whiskeys, Chad?
Single barrel picks.
That's right.
Yeah, so no single barrel picks.
There's no way we could have them all.
We wanted to put ours in there because we love them, of course, but
right.
You know, that's too limited.
Seems unfair. Mm-hmm.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about the methodology of how we got to our top 10.
Sure. So we spend the year obviously tasting whiskeys, and from January 1st, anytime we have something that we think is exceptional, we earmark that, and by the end of the year, we end up with, a pretty good sized handful. I think this year all in, we had 31 different pours in our lineup. We gather them all year, and then we put them in sample bottles. We do it blind, put a little sticker on the bottom so we know exactly what it is when we're ready to reveal, but we just don't look at that until the end. And into that mixture, we also add 5 everyday pours as voted on by our Patreon community, and those we just like to put in there kind of as like threshold checks. See how things pan out, see if these limited editions are as good or better than what's on the shelf. Then we taste them, 1 or 2 at a time, score them out of 100. Now that comes down to nose, palate, mouthfeel, and finish. 25 points available for each. We don't judge like the color of the whiskey. I know some reviewers do that. That just adds another element where we're not really focused on that.
Another thing that we don't add is value. We don't factor that in because
or availability.
It's blind, so we would have that would kind of give us a clue as to what it is if we had value. Yeah, so no value factored in and no availability factored in. So like you said, pretty much from the end of November all the way through December we were tasting, but that's over a month.
It's a pretty good sized window
of scoring. So once we finished, tabulated our scores, averaged them, then we did a double check. So we take our top 10, we pour them in blind into Glencairns again. We kind of taste through, and for this one, we just sort of pushed forward the ones that we thought were really exceptional and left the other ones that were good, but not better than those other ones kind of back. We ended up with another top 5 here.
It's kind of like a flight fight on steroids, right? We kind of
basically
say, okay, comparatively.
Then we take a break.
Right,
always got to
Lots
reset
of
the
breaks.
palate. Come back, and then we start tasting ones back and forth until we agree on a 1 through 5 order. Take another break, come back and handle those 6 through 10, and then we finally reveal, and we have the official order.
The official results.
Woo! Okay, let's go ahead and get right into it with number 10. Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series number 6, starting us off with the number 10 spot. We need a little bit something in our glass, so
all right.
Since it's our first one, that's what we're gonna do. Now, also, we're not going to talk as in detailed about 10 through 6 as we are 5 through 1.
But if you want to see us talk about these pours, you can go back and watch our 25 most notable whiskeys of the year, our December episodes, and find the ones. Here's talk a little bit more about each of these.
That's right. But overall, I mean, a great starting point, $130 MSRP on this one,
up there.
I believe. But yeah, starting us off with number 10, let's just keep it trucking on with number 9.
Coming in at number 9, we have 1792 Full Proof. Now this one is actually one of our 5 baseline bourbons that we put in, or whiskeys. Things that are reasonably priced but good quality that you
heavy
can
hitters
generally find. Again, I don't know your area, but we can generally find this, and it's something that we just want to put in to see how it stacks up against these limited releases, and this one did fairly well at number 9.
Yeah, this doesn't have like a 2021 release. We could have bought a bottle in 2021, but they don't really have releases, so that's why this one is in that same category as like just your everyday heavy hitters. But yeah, our first one of those to
held its own.
crack the top 10. Will it be the last one? I guess you'll just have to wait and find out as we move on to number 8. It's the Larceny Barrel Proof C921. Now, you talk about a late addition.
Oh, yeah.
We originally didn't have this one in contention because we didn't have it.
Right.
It came to us as a media sample. This bottle is actually C920, just here for reference.
Purposes only.
Right. We got a media sample sent to us mid to late-ish December. And we had...
It made us rethink things.
Yeah, so we went and grabbed our other 2 Larceny releases of the year, tried them, and hands down we agreed that the C921 was the best, so it made it in. And now
I'm glad it made it in, because here it is at number 8.
And at number 8, our first tweeter. Yes, our first tweeter. Will it be the last one? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna keep saying that about
Let's
everything.
find out.
Yeah. As we move on to number 7.
A shocker for both of us at number 7. I did not see this one coming. This was ranted and raved about in the community, and when we first opened it, we just thought, I don't get it. And like, it's good, but is it great? Is it best of the year? You know?
Yeah, people are saying it was the best wild turkey ever, or you know,
Right.
very close to it, near perfect.
And if you look back at our daily December episodes when we did this one, you know, we talked about the reasons why we put it in, and a lot of the reason why we put it in was because the community had such a strong response to it, and we really wanted to see blind what happened, and
Glad that we did.
wow, did it show up, apparently.
Glad that we did. Well, so the interesting thing about this is there's lots of touches on this. So the very first uncorking was on a live show, so you can go back and you can watch that. I think after that is when we really started to hear a lot more, Whiskey Tube clamor about how it's the best thing since sliced bread. So we did a revisit produced episode that you can also go watch. Then you can see this again in the 25 most notable. I really wouldn't think that we had any type of bias to it because we're huge wild turkey fans.
Right, but for some reason it appears that maybe we did.
Well, I don't know.
Or maybe it's changed as the bottle has been opened.
It could just be this one really does change after it's been opened, or maybe it sat in that 2-ounce bottle for the time that it did. But for whatever reason, this one showed up when we were blind ranking it.
I don't know what to say, but
Yeah.
I guess I gotta start giving it the credit it deserves.
I guess so. I mean, we always liked it, but
I didn't think we liked it that much.
it's a lot better than we thought we liked it.
Definitely didn't have this one in the predictions.
Yeah.
Woo!
Foregate Kelvin Collaboration number 3, also known as Foregate Batch 12. Now, last year...
I'm not surprised to see this here.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised either. Narrowly escaping our top 5 here. But last year, the Kelvin Collaboration number 2 came in number 2.
It almost took
Overall,
first place.
It was our most favorite finished whiskey last year. And here is the Batch 3 that has also shown up, not quite as well, but did very well for itself. I mean, this is a high proof one, 123.7 finished.
I'm sensing a trend here, Chad.
There are some higher.
Oops, I should have been wearing my
ones.
Proof Hound shirt
Right,
today.
yeah, exactly. Now, we did have 2 Foregates in here. Is this the highest ranking one? I just keep asking questions.
Is it? I don't know. I guess you'll have to find out.
It is. Spoilers. So this one did do the best of the 2. The other one was almost cracked into the top 10.
It's on
This
that
one
bubble.
almost cracked into the top 5. So Foregate showing up pretty well.
Second year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about ready to enter into the top 5. Let me take this off the table real quick.
That exciting time. The time you've been waiting for as we just jabber on.
To tell you about whiskyambitions.com. It's our home on the internet. It is where you can get our Glencairns. Now, these crystal cut Glencairns will be back in stock in 2022. Keep an eye out for that. They sold out twice already. But also our water glasses, our Copitas, our rocks glasses, our t-shirts and hats and hoodies and candles and pens and more always
so much
coming
more.
soon at whiskyambitions.com.
Tell us in the comments what you want to see in 2022 at
There you go.
whiskyambitions.com.
Like that.
You can also become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join our community for as little as $1 a month. Our patrons are the ones who determined the 5 benchmark pours that go in here. They help us out with so many things, and we try to give back to them by getting them, it's Bourbon Night exclusive barrel picks. The chance to participate in those barrel picks, and after the episode exclusives with Chad and Sarah.
There you go. There you go. Okay, getting ready to dive into the top 5.
But wait,
I already did my diving motion, Sarah, but what?
let's talk predictions.
We're gonna dive into our predictions. There we go. Get out our books here.
So we just predicted what we thought would make the top 5 based on our responses to things throughout the year.
Right. Well, I had put the Old Forester 117 series.
I also put that.
Did you? Okay,
Yes.
so we're both on that. I put a Four-Gate.
Okay. I put the Four-Gate Trilogy #1, but that might be because I have also had it the most recently.
You had it most recently, so we already know we're wrong about that one because we've already spoiled.
We revealed that
it was on the bubble, but didn't quite make it in the top
But you
5.
were right with well, not quite. It
Not
was
quite.
just on the bubble.
So close. I said Stag Junior.
Okay, I did not guess that because I recall
Okay.
liking last year's Stag Junior better, so I did not guess
But
that.
it's a whole new year, Sarah.
That's true, and
Whole new competition.
comparatively, who knows? Especially with our double check.
What did you put instead of Stag Junior? These are in no particular order, but we're just doing one for one.
Instead of Stag Junior, I actually put the Maker's FAE 02, and I feel like I'm just repeating again and again how much I really loved that pour this year.
I probably would have said top 10 for that one.
Yeah, I really thought it
would.
would definitely be top 10, but potentially. But
Okay.
we haven't seen it yet, so.
My next one that I put was the Four Roses limited edition of 2021.
I did not put that on this list.
Okay.
I instead put the Bardstown Bourbon Company Triple Stave. Triple blended stave finish. Now that was a distillery only release, but man.
I almost put a Bardstown Bourbon Company since I knew we had 2 in here, but
Kind of
I already
cop
did that
out.
with the Four-Gate, so I was like, okay, I'm only
You
gonna
would
do
have been
that
right
once.
with the Discovery.
And then lastly, I put William LaRue Weller
I
because,
also put that.
I mean, no spoilers if you haven't seen last year already, but it did rather well. So
And like, let's be honest, I mean,
it's always good.
it's always really excellent.
Never met a WLW that I did not love.
And I know you guys don't want to hear that. I feel like everyone hates us for saying it.
But it's predictions.
But it's predictions, and it's good, and we know we love it. So
That's right.
there.
So,
So predictions aside, I guess we should get into what they actually were.
yes, we should. Number 5. Well, look who got a prediction
Look
right.
who was right.
Bardstown Bourbon Company triple blended stave finish.
You know, earlier this year they had a French oak release, and when I had that one, I thought, oh, I marked it for me. I was like, oh, this is gonna go in the best of.
Right.
And then shortly after that, we got this bottle, and I was like, forget about that. This is the one.
This and the Ferrand.
The Ferrand was really good
And
too.
we kind of tried all 3 of those.
Yep.
And we were both hands down like, nope.
Of the finished ones
it's
this year.
One.
Yeah.
Not since the Chateau de la Bade.
Chateau de la Bonne.
Have we been so crazy about a Bardstown Bourbon Company?
Yes.
I mean, Discovery 3 is still our jam in the Discovery world. I feel like we should probably put that to the test sometime.
We should.
But this one, which we saw the breakdown of it today. Do you still have that on your phone?
Yeah, it's originally a blend of 2 Indiana whiskeys,
And a Kentucky.
both Ryes and then a Kentucky bourbon. Then it's finished for 3 weeks in different oaks, one of which being pure 2 oak staves. I don't know what that means. And the other one being spice rack oak stave, which sounds delicious.
There we go.
And then it's reblended.
After those 3 weeks, it's reblended. They take 87% of the original blend and they added in 13% of a 17-year-old Tennessee, which we had no idea if that was even in the mix.
You know, some people will say the Tennessee jumps out at them. I found that older Tennessee whiskey like that blends better in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I didn't taste it at all
Not
in
at
this.
all.
And what a nice pour.
Right, yeah. This one
We really liked it.
coming in strong at number 5.
Something that neither of us predicted, but I'm sure a lot of you all are happy to see at number 4, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B521.
Right.
We love Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Yeah.
Let's not be mistaken.
I didn't think that 2021 was a particularly strong year. Like, I mean, I did love them, especially our favorite of the 3, which was the B, but I guess I was just thinking of other years, like 2017 or whenever when I was just, like, it was just bonkers good.
Right.
But again, we gotta think, different year, different competition.
Sure.
So we didn't predict it, but it's not really a shock. I can't say that I'm shocked.
I can't say that I'm shocked. This bottle tends to show up, I mean, no matter what, and a lot of people would argue that it's probably the best value on this list, or one of them.
If you can get it for retail.
If you can find it.
For sure.
Disclaimers.
Right. A lot of places do mark it up because of its popularity. But, you know, controlled states, ABC states, or places that just are nice to their consumers and put it out for what I think is still around $60 or in that area for a 12-year of barrel-proof Heaven Hill is just amazing. So it's really not a shock that it's on here. Yeah. And here it is at number 4. Wow. What's number 3 going to be like?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Well, here's the other one that everyone goes crazy about, Stag Junior. What a, following each other. I think
right, probably also
you can't write stuff like this.
Yeah, one of the arguably the best values on the list at being at also that barrel strength and, roughly a $60 MSRP.
Right.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But again, like the Elijah Craig barrel proof in the slot before it, not easy to find, especially not at retail.
No.
But we do love this year over year. I mean,
yes, we do. Lucked upon this one, actually it being on a shelf at a store, quickly got snatched up. After,
somebody made a mistake.
Yeah, after that, they weren't supposed to have put that out, but I was right place, right time. This is batch 16. This is the summer release. It's 130.9 proof.
And we didn't get the next batch. Is that correct?
That is correct. 17 we have not seen in our area or even heard whispers about it, but I know some people out there do have it. So we can't compare this to that one, but all we know is it came in number 3 blind for us.
And now we were talking about this earlier, I think maybe in our 25 most notable episodes, that we liked this one a lot, but that maybe we liked last year's Stag better.
It's possible. Yeah, it is possible. We would have to do a side-by-side blind to know that for sure, but I do remember it's maybe just, we would have predicted that one, I feel like.
Yeah.
But again,
now you did predict this.
I did predict this one. That is right. Good job, me.
He knows himself.
This one did make it in there. I think we might be tied on predictions right now. Yeah. So
I think so.
Let's to see how it goes going into number 2.
Well, I don't think anyone is surprised by number 2. Maybe you're surprised that it didn't get number 1.
Right?
This is actually not this year's bottle of William LaRue Weller. This is the 2017 bottle. For this year, we were only able to get a media sample, which makes it hurt that much more that William LaRue Weller came in at number 2.
But man, did we stretch that media sample through several different...
The BTAC episode, the blind tasting, the most notable of the year. We made 3 episodes.
Made it last through the double check. It's all gone now.
It's all gone. None remains.
So just for illustration purposes is this bottle, which is going to be gone before too long.
Because can you blame us?
Anyway, yeah. But yeah, WLW, I mean...
both of our predictions.
Yes.
Based on last year.
We're still tied there. Just an amazing... As we said, we haven't met a WLW that we haven't liked. It always shows up.
Yes.
It's really just a question of where in the top 5 is it going to land.
Right.
Pretty much, historically now. That's
could change next year. Who knows?
Could absolutely change.
It would surprise me. Again, I'm sure a lot of people will be cranky about this in the comments because it is so expensive on secondary, and in no way are we saying to do that. Is so difficult to find. But I think the silver lining of it coming in so high repeatedly is that if you're going to hunt it and you're going to put down the money, it's consistently going to be really good and, in our opinion, worth it. Now, worth it, I don't know how much you want to spend. And I'm gonna stay out of that conversation. But quality-wise, it's there. It continues to show up.
Yeah, that's between you and your banker.
Yeah, you and your finance person, that's between y'all.
Yeah. So if WLW
got number 2.
Got number 2.
What got number 1?
Lock in your votes now, make those predictions, lock them in before we reveal. Type in the comments.
We won't know if you know.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Our It's Bourbon Night. Best American whiskey, that means bourbon, that means rye, that means finished, of 2021 is... Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition 2021. Surprised?
I was surprised. Not that I don't generally love these, but I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. I did predict it in the top 5.
You did predict top 5. I did not see this one coming in at number 1.
I did not think it would be number 1.
But I have to be honest, I have had minimal experience with this bottle this year. We were working off of 2 samples for the purposes of this competition that were donated by patrons. So we weren't drinking on it a lot, so I wasn't super familiar with it. I knew I liked it a lot. And then this bottle, late in the game, generously donated by a patron as a holiday gift, and we are so appreciative of that because here it sits at number 1. I can't believe it.
It got donated maybe about a week ago, and this was before we
had the results.
And we were super glad because, you've heard us all year whine about how, or ever since these were released, how we weren't able to get one. But it meant a lot because this was it was the second bourbon that Sarah and I ever started actively
standing in line for.
And we had gotten one every year since 2015.
Since we met.
Right. So not having one this year kind of stung a little bit sentimentally. And also because we always love what's inside. And so here it comes, and then it ends up being our best
Which is wild.
bourbon. So in this case, we can say our best bourbon of the year, 2021, the Four Roses Limited Edition.
Now, I really hope this made Brent Elliott proud.
Brent! Hey! Good job.
Good job, Brent.
Good job, Brent.
We love you.
Yeah. Well, let's pull up the specs and tell you what went into this at least. So this is 114.2 proof. It's aged a minimum of 12 years, and here is what is in it. A 16-year OBSV recipe.
Okay, that explains a lot for me.
A 14-year-old OBSQ.
Okay.
A 12-year-old OESK, crowd favorite right there, and a 16-year-old OESV.
I love
Those are some great recipes right there.
The V recipes are probably my favorites. Especially that OBSV. That's probably my favorite. And I think what I like about this the most is that it does take that blend into account of those different flavors, but also those ages. So for me, even though it's got 16-year in it, it's not going overly oaky. And I think it's interesting, Chad, because we've talked in the past about this thing called the Four Roses effect, where, Four Roses has such a distinct and unique flavor profile that it often stands out. I like to use the example of a box and whisker chart. It's usually a whisker, just because it is so different than other things. In this case, it was the top end,
So for every rule, there's the exception.
Right.
And this was the exception.
It did stand out. It just stood out at the top.
Well, yeah. But normally, the Four Roses effect for us means in a flight fight, that uniqueness gets interpreted as weirdness compared to more traditional, flavors, and it gets pushed towards the back. This year, when we had it in the 10 and then what became the 5 double check, it did the exact opposite.
It did the exact
the Four
opposite.
Roses
It rose
effect
straight to the top.
Became this, rises to the top, scream of the crop.
I will say it was close. It was very close between this and the WLW. But I just felt like overall, whole experience, the WLW was a bit hotter. And now this makes sense with this being at that 114.
The 114?
That, for me, it just struck more of a balance for every category. And it was so pleasant and enjoyable, and I loved it so much. And I'm really happy to see it come in at number 1. If only it were more available.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Man, I know.
Now let the hate flow through you, Chad. Do you feel it in the comments?
I can feel it.
Do you feel the hate?
A little bit of FOMO. I mean, we had major FOMO on this one. 14,880 bottles exist.
That's more than some releases.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
You see a lot of 6,000, 8,000.
Almost 15,000 bottles out there. So, have at it. But there we go. Another year in the books.
Another year in the books.
Of the best of.
I do think, Chad, that we should take the opportunity sometime soon and really dig into these results. Go outside the top 10.
Yes.
Talk upsets, talk, year over year comparisons, things like that.
Yeah, really get analytical and statistical with it.
But, I do think it's fair. I would like to know, what would you like to see us get into in that episode? Or what wasn't on this list that you think should have been on this list? And maybe we can talk about those when we get into that content.
There you go. I like it.
So put it down in the comments.
Let us know down below. But that is where we will leave it. If you haven't subscribed to us already, what are you waiting for? You can click right up here. There are suggestions of other videos down here. We hope to see you over there in one of those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad, for another great year.
And to you, Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. Drink more bourbon.